Okay. Russia-China tag team. Hey, people. Hope everyone is doing fine. Happy New Year, everyone. 2023. This year went by, at least for me, it went by just flying, just flew through this year. And it's weird. I guess it's because of the kids. You know, when you have little kids, they just keep you so damn busy all the time. But yeah, just went by super, super fast. So let me know how you guys spend New Year. Did you have fun, family, lots of people over? You spend it with just yourself and having fun. Yeah, so I have a couple videos here I want to show you guys about the Andrew Tate thing. The creator of Stalker, I just learned that the guy, developer of the video game Stalker in Ukraine, died recently fighting in Ukraine. Very sad news. So yeah, that is quite sad. And also, there's a couple videos I want to show you guys about female police officers, and should they even be police officers? That's a question that a lot of people are asking. My immediate answer is, yeah, sure, a woman can do a job like that, and yet at the same time, there's you know there's some questions I'd like to go into a little bit more regarding how women sometimes act in a manner that is probably not best for the general public when there's times of crisis. So, a couple of things to consider there. And also in the same video, how much freedom do you have in the United States? I would argue that you have very little. Watching these two videos alone, and these are quite recent, you have to ask yourself, how much freedom do you have in the United States as of right now? Because if you watch a video of a blind man being handcuffed and taken away, as a police officer happily makes up an excuse that he resisted arrest when he knows he's being filmed by his own camera, by his partner, and they have no problem whatsoever, basically behaving like thugs. And it just goes on, and that's not a problem. I have my doubts. If you're really living in the most free country in the planet, my answer is no, not by a long shot. It would be easier to list the countries that are even less free, like Russia, China, North Korea. The kind of crap you will see in these two videos, I haven't seen anywhere else in any other civilized country. But let's go through some of the comments here. As always, thanks guys for being here. Much appreciated your support. Jerry Robbins says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, man. Pat O'Connor, Happy New Year, guys. Be safe, be ready, be productive. Yeah, good tips for this year. The original OSOC. Hit that like for a Happy New Year. Thanks, man. Totally not a professional review vid. Okay. Not just kids, just working. Can't do that. Yeah, also a good way to spend. I mean, whatever it is that you spend your time and you're happy with that, that's all that matters. Hello, Fernando. Happy New Year. I spend my New Year with my son and daughter, in-law, and granddaughter. Nice. The original OSAC. That's a great way to spend your New Year, man. Congratulations. The original OSAC women that are going to be duty officers need to pass the same standards as men and don't lower them. Yeah, well, that is a great point. But my question is more about how women tend to react in moments of crisis. I don't think we're all the same. I think men and women are different. And that difference also reflects in emotional responses to hard times. So what I like about what we'll see here in a moment is I have on one hand Andrew Tate. That is, yeah, if you look at the classic definition of a misogynistic prick, this guy would be it. He talks about women as assets, as as a Muslim that sells his 7-year-old daughter to a 70-year-old man. It's perfectly logical for their culture, for their society to do that with a child. I mean, she's just a little girl. She's worth nothing. So you sell her like an animal. For us in the Western world, we see that as repugnant and against our more our core values. We just don't believe that is right. It's not just illegal in most of the Western world. It is, even when it's legal, like in Afghanistan, probably some tribe, the elders are okay with that, so it's legal in their society. We still find it repugnant, right? But they have a different perspective. Well, Andrew Tate happens to be a Muslim, so he has a different take on things. Now, it's very interesting because for some people, this man is some kind of conservative hero. A conservative hero that happens to be a Muslim with 4 wives, which he exploits sexually. I mean, and he confesses to these things himself, which is very, very strange. WC Quantil, stay home with family and my new puppy. Nice. Congratulations on the new puppy. Less than I had 5 years ago and less than I had 5 years before that. Oh yeah, you say it's not free, it's just ruled by corporations. Mike Riviera. Oh, that's actually yeah, that's actually very accurate. Ruled by corporations. I think you can make a strong case for that. You can make a strong case for corporations pretty much rule everything in the world. It has reached an impressive level in the United States, though, and it's getting more tyrannical at times. What I've seen recently is it's hard to believe. The year SIG will make more P320s lawsuits. Pimps should be castrated. Yeah. Is Matt Brecken gonna come back on Sunday show? Not any immediate plans for that. We just talked about it, decided to part ways in super friendly terms. We just disagreed on a lot of stuff regarding the war in Ukraine, and we always find ourselves constantly disagreeing on the same point, and it gets to a level where what's the why continue doing that? So we just decided to go a different way. TT Eddie, on an issue that really does not matter, but I'm curious in general, what did Argentina football fans think of Pelé? Well, yeah, I can tell you that in Argentina, Pelé is considered definitely one of the best football players ever. I think that any country where football is big, they will probably have very strong positive opinions of the level of Pelé. There's usually that debate of Pelé, Maradona, Messi, and some will throw in Ronaldo. Ronaldo is also a fantastic player. Both Ronaldos, right? Some people will say that Ronaldo is not even the best Ronaldo because of the Brazilian one. Honestly, if you ask me, based on pure skill, I would say that Messi is the best one ever. The skill that guy has, even now, but especially in his prime, like in 20 to 25, it was insane. He was on you had elite athletes, like multi-millionaire elite athletes, and the guy would just run through them as if they were children. I haven't seen Maradona do that, and Maradona is very highly regarded in Argentina. Yeah. I haven't seen Pelé definitely do that. I think Maradona is better than Pelé in terms of skill, but neither one of those comes close to the skill that Messi has. So yeah. Oh, Matt's not coming back. Too bad. I thought you guys were great together. Well, thanks, man. Much appreciate that. I was even getting, constant reports on some of the other videos we've done together. So good thing that I have the other channel as backup, because the last strike I got was in one of those videos. So, hopefully we'll, eventually, you have to let time pass. Eventually, hopefully we'll, maybe do a couple of these together again. Who knows? I like the disagreements you had with Matt. I was good back and forth with competing views. Yeah, but it is true that it gets to a point, and I understand that, it's like always arguing, because it went from debating to almost arguing at times. And I don't want to argue with someone that I consider a good friend. And he doesn't want to do that either. So, we decided to just not do it anymore. Hi, Fer, looking at channel Good Luck America. He's an ex-cop and has many videos on the dangers of female cops. It is one of those hot potato topics, because the moment you say a woman should not be a police officer, you get like, whoa, what are you talking about? A woman can't do anything that a man can. Really? I can tell you two things that a woman cannot do that a man can. A woman cannot donate sperm. No woman can do that. A woman cannot be a father. Not a single woman in the planet can do that. But beyond the easy jokes, whenever there's a job that requires a lot of physical strength, not only do you need men, you need men that are fit and have certain genetics. You look at firemen, right? A fireman should be a guy that could carry the average adults with somewhat, with certain degree of dexterity. If you cannot pick up a person that is unconscious on the floor as a building is burning down, I don't think you're that great as a fireman. And in terms of law enforcement, you have men that should not be cops at all. I have done a video where we saw a man, a grown man, have an emotional breakdown, and he just started shaking. He started shooting randomly like a crazy person. And that man, yeah, he's a man, but he hasn't got the mental fortitude to be a police officer, because he cracked in a somewhat stressful situation that you would expect most adults to, cope with. He couldn't do that. Now, can women do that? Probably a female officer, an average female officer, would not have reacted as bad as this man did. But then again, you have many cases in which women have these reactions that are disproportionately worse than men, right? In terms of how they handle stress, how they handle fear. Sometimes you see them that they're just scared and they go immediately to their gun as a reaction to their fears. It's just not good. Agree, Messi best ever? Yeah, I think he is. Objectively, like, even if you take away all the goals, all the assists, the insane Ballon d'Ors and Champions League and and now a World Cup and winning Copa America and winning the Finalissima against Italy, all in the last couple years, which is just insane. If the guy had not played in a professional club ever, but you would have just filmed him playing against top opponents, he would still have a level of skill that I at least haven't seen in any other human being ever, right? Women should not be cops. Sorry. Okay, yeah, that's an opinion. It's crazy when cops say that. Okay, let's start this with, first I want to go through the Andrew Tate thing. If you're not familiar with who Andrew Tate is, well, Andrew Tate is this guy that you see, the guy that's trying hard to look cool or whatever he's trying to look like a pimp, and you'll see him describe himself like that here in a second. But he's a former kickboxer turned pimp, according to his own words. He became a pimp and then a millionaire, and he explains how is it that he became a millionaire. Besides that, he ended up turning to he became a Muslim and has apparently 4 wives, which he exploits in sexual webcams, which, strictly from a legal term, I suppose it is legal in wherever it is that he's doing that. But if you listen to what he says, let me show you what he says.
An asset, a liability, et cetera, et cetera. So I started trying to write down what I had. I was like, I have an apartment, I have a BMW, I'm in good shape, but I already use that for fighting. What can I do? I can play chess. I'm just writing down the things I have and what I'm good at. And then I kind of realized, I was like, I've got like 8 girlfriends. But because I was traveling the world, and if you win, you get a ring girl. It's kind of like she's banging the winner, right? You win a world title, you get to choose the ring girl you want. It's pretty easy, right? So
yeah, he doesn't know what a girlfriend actually is. I don't know if he ever had one in his life, based on on the confusion he has regarding what a girlfriend actually is. But one thing I'd like to mention is this guy is considered like the conservative, anti-feminist, figure in social media. A lot of young men worship this guy. He's like the incel hero. They look at this guy like he is, a kickboxer, a millionaire, and he has all of these girlfriends or women, and he just sleeps in a pile of cash and just girls around him. That's the image he created about himself, and that's why a lot of people look up to him. And I was reading about adult men saying that their kids worship and like this guy and just think he's great. So just because he speaks against some of the more extreme woke agenda, like some of the things that we can all agree on in terms of the toxic anti-masculine agenda that we know exists, talking about against feminism, at least the twisted, unhealthy version of feminism, which at a point you would have made a strong case for, well, yeah, women should have equal rights as men, and they're perfectly capable in their own and should have their rights and all, which is a more classic version of feminism. And this monstrosity that we have now, where a man can just say, yeah, I'm a woman, and all of a sudden I can just claim right now, I can just claim this exact same moment, this very moment, I can say I am a woman and I'm the most feminist, most woman in the planet, and a real woman has no right to say you're full of shit, you're a guy, you're a dude, you have a damn beard, your voice is of a man, and you're obviously a man, and you're not a woman, and you have no right to claim you're a woman because you know nothing about what we've gone through our entire lives. That would be the only sane thing. Since we are in clown world, that is not possible anymore. You have to say, yes, Fernando just said he's a woman, so he's the most woman female in the planet, right? And this guy speaks against that. So, people are so basic at times. I'm kind of like discouraged because just when he says, yeah, a man is not a woman and a woman is not a man, and men and women are different, everyone goes like, oh yeah, start cheering for fucking Andrew Tate because he said something I agree with. And then all of a sudden he says he has 4 wives and he's a Muslim and exploits women. And but he said something that I liked, so I'll just pretend I'm okay with that. So people are so easy to manipulate that even a dumbass like this guy can manipulate enormous amounts of people into buying his products, giving him money, and basically exploiting this stupidity.
I had a girlfriend in Slovakia. I had a girlfriend in France. I had a girlfriend in England. All these girlfriends.
Do they know about each other?
No.
Okay.
But they find out pretty soon. So I had all these girlfriends. So I'm like, maybe I could open a strip club and like be a pimp, be a gangster about it.
He says that he wants to be a pimp and a gangster. Gangsters are usually involved in illegal activities, so he's already saying things that would be illegal if he actually does it. This is like me saying, yeah, I'm a killer. Well, am I really? Well, if I'm not, I can say bullshit as much as I want. Now, if you later find out that I actually do, shoot people for money, yeah, that would make me by definition a killer, but that is also illegal, and that would land me in jail. So if this guy says he's a pimp and he's a gangster, well, we don't know if he's one or not, but we do know that the things he's saying would actually make him a criminal if he, operates and actually executes those actions.
And then that opening strip club.
That's literally the first thing you thought about was to open a strip club?
Well, I thought I have these beautiful girls. How can this is before like Twitch existed. So I was like, what can I do with these hot girls? It's just an asset, right? There's these girls, and a lot of them were messaging me. So they thought I was this millionaire world champion. They all wanted to come London, live with me, and thought I was a big boy.
He talks about women as assets. So are we okay with a little 7-year-old girl being sold to a creepy old man or anyone? Are we okay? Let me know in the comments. Are we okay with little girls being sold like animals? If we are not, then we cannot be okay with considering women as assets. No matter how insane modern feminism is, that is still messed up.
And all this stuff. So it's like they do
because
want
of social media.
Well, partially because of that, and also because they met me. I turn up, I fight, I win the world title, I leave. We're texting each other. They assume I'm this big boy, right? So I'm kind of like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I thought, man, I investigated strip clubs, way too much money. But this asset class of beautiful women was kind of on my mind for a few days.
Second time he
and
calls
then
woman
absolute
assets.
coincidence, I stumbled upon
Assets.
somewhere on the internet. I was on one of those websites where you used to download like free games and bullshit from. And in the corner somewhere it said, hot girls want to talk to you now or something. I said, hot girls. So I clicked on that, not because I was interested, but because I thought I have hot girls. And it was one of those webcam websites. And I was like, you need to find that you need to remember their name, remember their dog.
Yeah. This guy is an asshole. This guy is a dick. Yeah. Tate may be a right winger. I don't think he's a right winger. I think he's a con man that actually thought he could get away with his human trafficking, gangster of love, and so on. What I want to show in this video is the difference between presenting yourself like a gangster, like a badass, like a pimp, like a winner, which is something that he plays very well, and then I want you guys to notice where he basically confesses to committing the crimes that he's being accused of. Listen to what he says.
Dog's name. You have to be smart. You can't just be a girl and be a bimbo and be
he's
naked
not
and
very
make
smart.
money. You have to be really smart, charming, interesting, happy all the time, positive. On the same table, they're all like, whose girlfriend told him I had a job for them? Be a bimbo, be naked, and make money. You have to be really smart, charming, interesting, happy all the time.
Listen to what he says.
Mm-hmm. And I thought, I'm going to try this. So I messaged all 5 of my girlfriends, told them I had a job for them, explained to them what I was going to do. I was going to launch this company.
So he says he contacts all of these women and explains what he's going to do, okay? Keep that in mind. He says he explains what he's going to do with this company, which basically involves using them sexually as assets, which is something he said. But listen to what he says next. 4
of them agreed. All 4 flew in, sat around the same table. They're all like, who's she, who's she, who's she? I'm like, well, you're all my girlfriends. 2 more left.
There is where he incriminates himself by confessing human trafficking. He said that he had explained the situation to all of them. Now we learn that he flew them from abroad. He brought them into a different country based on a lie. He tricked them because he said he explained. Obviously, he did not explain a damn thing because now he says that he's telling them that they are all his girlfriends, which is not the definition of girlfriend outside of the Muslim world. Not only does he say that, 2 of those women, they take off. They hopefully had enough money to buy a ticket out of there because if not, they are depending on him to paying that ticket back home. That's where he basically confesses to human trafficking. Based on a lie, he brought women for sexual exploitation. This guy, unless he has some big Qatar money that bails him out of something pretty bad, this guy should be in jail for a very long time because based on what he just said, he admits to tricking women into sexual exploitation up until the moment where he sits them all in a table and explains what's really going on. Not the bullshit lie he said so as to get them there in the first place. That is human trafficking. Now you're in my table. Now you're in my country. You have no way of going back home. You have to repay me. You're my sexual asset. You have to repay me by getting naked in front of a camera and having sexual online intercourse with strangers. This guy is not only a piece of shit, he's a criminal based on his own words, the things he admits to without even knowing it. This is like me saying, yeah, I became a millionaire by, I just went to a bank and pointed a gun at the manager and asked him for money. He gave me the money and I did this time and again. And that's how I became a millionaire. Where? Fernando, you're a bank robber. Oh, no, I just point a gun and say, hey, give me your money. And that's what I do. I'm not a bank robber. This is the kind of thing this dumbass has just confessed to. Okay, so Eric, why am I talking about this? Well, simply because this is what our kids are watching. Not only our kids, this is what many people in our community, in the conservative gun owners, there's a long ass debate about this guy in AR-15 in forums about people that idolize this guy as a based conservative, like a winner, like a guy that has all the ladies and all the money. No, he's just a criminal. Okay, enough of this dumb asshole. Let's move to the next point, which is women as police officers. The first one I want to share with you guys is this one. This is, yeah.
Hi there. What's this in your back pocket? I just saw you walking it.
It's a navigational age. What's the problem? You a tyrant?
Yeah, I am actually. What's your name and date of birth?
I don't have to give that unless...
The guy says, "Are you a tyrant?" She says, "Yeah, I am a tyrant."
Yes, sir. I was investigating.
You have reasonable...
Do you want me to put you in handcuffs right now? Yes, sir, I do.
What is your suspicion?
It looks like you're carrying a gun in your back pocket. I'm stopping to make sure you're carrying it properly. You don't
have you ensured that it's not a firearm?
No, you keep turning so I can't see it. You don't have to be a dick to me.
Well, you're being one to me.
No, sir, I'm doing my job.
Am I detained?
Yeah, you are. What's your name and date of birth?
It does not matter.
Yes, sir, it does.
Do you have a crime?
Would you like me
Call
to
your
put you in?
supervisor,
He's right
please.
here.
All right.
You don't.
Sir, what's the stop you for? For a walking stick.
So,
And it could look like a weapon. She asked you to present it, okay? Now she's asking me for ID. Okay. I don't need the ID unless there's reasonable articulated suspicion that I have committed a crime and committing a crime or about to do a crime.
Sir, and her suspicion was that you were armed, okay? And she's asking you for your ID.
Well, now she has verified that I am not armed. Okay. So there is no
You have your
problem.
ID or not?
I do have my ID, but you don't need it.
Okay. Okay.
All right, get his ID.
77 Whiskey Mike detained. I don't know where his wallet is.
Where's your wallet at, sir? I don't have my wallet on me.
Okay, where's your ID?
Where's your ID at? Pocket. Which pocket? You are not allowed to search me.
Hey, Knockface, thanks, man.
It's in this pocket.
Long layover. Happy New Year, man.
Hey,
Thank you.
I want your names and badge numbers.
1237 on Nick 65427.
Yeah, 4427.
Preferably
Hotel
your cards.
322 457 6125440.
Yeah, 26, 23,
That's a great point. MSB 9021. Welcome, man. How in the hell do they write something like this up? You'll listen, you'll hear in just a second how they write this up. They just make it up. Listen to what the guy says.
Sir, are you legally blind? Yes, I am.
In case you didn't catch that, he says, "Sir, are you legally blind?" He says, "Yes, I am." The man there that's being arrested is legally blind. That's why he has a walking stick. No, he's not completely blind, but he can barely see and he can just barely move around. Obviously did not need officers harassing him like that, but he's legally blind.
I had to walk up here in the dark for jury duty, which was canceled. Why aren't you using your stick? You don't have to use your stick all the time? Not all the time.
26. Green. All right, Mr. Hodges. Was that hard?
It's gonna be. I want your name and your badge number. You know what? Put him in jail for resisting.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Just, she has her yet another. She has several of these, but she has her final Karen moment of, was it that hard? I was just asking for your ID. Was it that hard? And her supervisor says, you know what? Put him up in jail for resisting. He did not resist at all. Doesn't matter. They just make shit up.
The jury duty, which was canceled.
26.
Listening to it again.
All right, Mr. Hodges. Was that hard?
It's gonna be. I want your name and your badge number. You know what? Put him in jail for resisting.
Okay.
That fat dumbass should not be an officer either. This woman should not be an officer. Neither one of these two should be a cop. But the bar has gone down so bad that you have these two clowns, these two dangerous individuals out there on the street with a gun and with a badge. This is not something normal. This does not happen in other countries. This may happen in North Korea or China, but this does not happen in other places. A man that is just walking down the street and this idiotic woman, because whatever you can say about women being officers or not, she is an inky. You see the tattoo, you see the purple nails, you see the voice, the tone of voice. She is, horrible as a person, and she has no business being a police officer. She just sees a walking stick. What is that?
I just saw you walking it.
It's a navigational aids. What's the problem? You a tyrant?
And you could easily say, oh, he's being a dick. He has all the freedom to be all the dicks he wants to be. He has no obligation to have a certain tone of voice or use certain words with a public servant, which is a police officer. He is upset that he's being stopped by a police officer for no reason whatsoever. This woman just saw his walking stick in his pocket and decided that she would show her authority on this patriarchal male. That's what was going on in her stupid little head. She was going to show him that she's the law and he has to obey him.
Yeah, I am, actually. What's your name and date of birth?
I'm a tyrant. Yeah. What's your name?
I don't have to give that unless
Yes, sir. I was investigating.
You have reasonable.
Do you want me to put you in handcuffs?
Do you want me to arrest you right now? If you don't obey, if you don't obey, I will throw you in handcuffs, even if it's 100% completely illegal, because I'm now, I'm just showing my power. This is one of the things that I question. I wonder, why is it that you see this so many times in stressful moments in terms of how women react to them? In my humble observation and watching these videos, you see women have a bad way of handling these, power trip moments where the guy is not being super compliant with them and not, bending at every single command of theirs. They have this, I'll show you. You want to get arrested? This is the kind of thing that you see both men and women, but you see it disproportionately more in female officers. This is something I think needs to be addressed. Am I saying that women should not be police officers? No. I mean, maybe a little bit more research is needed before giving an officer this kind of authority. But I think it really goes beyond that point of men and women. I think it's even worse. I think this is a level of lack of freedom in the United States that is, it hasn't been seen before. I don't think you saw this a couple decades ago. For sure, it was not this bad. This is getting increasingly bad. You see these moments in which both men and women think they have the absolute authority to do whatever it is they want because they have a badge and a gun, and it's getting worse. I don't see how you can claim that this is a country where you have more freedom than pretty much any other developed country, really, because this does not happen elsewhere. It is far more isolated. Whenever there's an incident in which a cop steps out of line like this, it is far less common. You don't see this in other places. This thing about you're talking about a blind man being arrested for resisting arrest when he did not resist arrest at all, the guy just makes it up. So they are both terrible, both the women and the man. Both of them should not be officers. But you know what? They're officers right now. They did not get fired over arresting a blind man over nothing. They still have their jobs. This is insane, and it is concerning. Right? Let me go through some of the comments. Was this guy on InfoWars? I wouldn't be surprised because he kind of appeals to that target audience. So yeah, no, wouldn't be surprised, and especially with the Muslim thing and the Chad conservative thing. Yeah, let's talk about Argentina. Okay. Yes, he was on InfoWars multiple times. Jones sell his supplements. Yeah. Okay, that is, I'm not surprised by Alex Jones at anything at this point. So yeah, not surprised. But yeah, he's in jail right now. And he even admitted to going to Romania because he thought he would be less likely to be arrested for human trafficking there, which is insane. Something the cabal props up popular personalities like Andrew Tate to do human trafficking, Epstein, Hugh Hefner. Yeah, they do use that for blackmailing. He was involved with all the Qatar, money thing, probably trafficking, money laundering. Anyway, who knows? I lost out to guys in this same vein in school. 35 years later, you see him on Facebook and find out didn't well. Okay, warning, Nazi build biolabs. Yeah, Knockface here in Houston. Hobby Airport with a long layover, but just wanted to wish Happy New Year to all the TMS community. In my humble opinion, women should never be patrol street police officers. And there's also a strong case for how physically fit and strong are they, even at their best. And this is something I think the bar has gone down because there's just not enough good police officers and not enough people that are good at this job so as to, fill the demand. And you see so many cops that because this guy here, her supervisor, he's just as bad. This asshole here, he's just as bad as the woman. He should not be an officer either. But because the bar has gone down so much, a guy like this who should have a minimal, a minimal responsibility and no power whatsoever kind of job, he is doing something that he's not supposed to do. This man should not be a police officer. He cannot handle the power of a badge, let alone the power of a gun. But yet, that's what you have. So yeah, that's how they write this down. Clowns in the right word. You don't want to sound like misogynistic by acting women should be cost, male or female. Many take their service to community seriously. Yes, of course they do. Conscious movie reviews is absolutely right about that. There's a lot of fantastic police officers, and I know many, but I cannot turn a blind eye to this and say this is not happening because it's happening and it's not an isolated incident. Let me show you another one, right? This one is much shorter, right? This could happen to anyone. But it so happens to be that a woman is the one that almost shot a guy in the head in handcuffs. And there's been others in which they actually shot guys in the head while wearing handcuffs. But she just did not handle the stressful situation well and almost blew his head off with her Beretta. Yeah, that is not cool. But let me show you yet another one. This one is, I think it's from a couple years back, but look at this other one. No, I'm not misogynistic at all, but I am really questioning what kind of people, not only men or women, I'm just questioning what kind of people they are allowing into the force in the United States and how this goes on and continues.
Undo your seatbelt for me? Can I call the supervisor, please? I would like your supervisor.
So this guy, I made the video a little bit shorter. You can look it up. But this guy was stopped because of the tinted glasses. He had already been stopped and had So he had already been fined for it, and supposedly you have some time until you get it fixed or whatnot. Anyway, he does say that he has a gun in his car that happens to be in the trunk of the car. Now, this man has no criminal record whatsoever. He had never been arrested. So you might like his attitude a little bit more or less. And as I said in the previous video, you have the right to have the attitude, that whatever attitude you want to have. Is that best for you? Probably not. But no matter what kind of attitude you have, a police officer should know and respect the law. Just because they don't like the way you look, the color of your skin, the hat you're wearing, or if you have a not ideal attitude according to whatever standards they want, they should not abuse the power. And look how that power is abused in this case. She says she's standing in no man's land, and she would feel more comfortable if they searched the vehicle. They have no grounds. They have no reason to do anything other than give him a ticket, and that's it. Or not even that, because he already has a ticket. So they have nothing on him. But she says that she's not comfortable knowing that he has a gun. You're allowed to have a gun in the United States. I've been stopped in other countries with a gun in my vehicle. And the only thing that I got from the officer that stopped me was, "Oh, you have a Glock 31. What is that?" Yes, 357 SIG. "Oh, I don't know. What is?" Yeah, it's like a 357 Magnum, but in a Glock format pistol. "Oh, cool. Well, have a nice day. Bye." That was in Argentina. And I've been stopped in other countries with guns as well. I've never had anything even close to this experience by an officer that says, "I'm not comfortable with you having a gun." And this is in the United States. In the United States, where they claim to fame in terms of freedom and liberty is that you have the Second Amendment. What is the use of the Second Amendment if this happens to you in the United States? I'd rather be living anywhere else where I have a right to have a gun, and I'm not going to be abused by officers like this guy is in just a moment.
All right, sir. Hey, just because you got a firearm in the car, okay, we're just going to do this the safe way, okay?
When he says, just because you have a firearm, we're going to be doing this the safe way, what he's actually saying is, just because you have a firearm, which you are legally entitled to have, I'll abuse my authority. I'll go to a place where I have no legal grounds to go and force you as a criminal out of your vehicle and search you just because you have a legal firearm. He has no right to do any of that. You committed no crime. You did nothing wrong. They have no suspicion of you, trafficking drugs. They don't smell anything. There's nothing suspicious. No one is screaming in your trunk. No. Just because you had a legal firearm, they're going to be treating you now like a criminal in the United States. I'm telling you, I've had, police stop me in other countries. Nothing was even close to as bad as this.
So, what I need you to do, can you undo your seatbelt for me?
Can I call the supervisor, please?
What?
I would like your supervisor.
No, you can talk to him afterwards.
Sir, I would like your supervisor.
Okay, we're going to talk to him afterwards.
Can you call him on your radio?
Huh?
Can you call him on your radio? He's not trying to call his supervisor on the radio.
Okay,
I'm a citizen too, bro. Okay. It's like, and you work for public and safety. You're doing your job. What's your cause of stopping me? Is what I want to know. You didn't even give me a cause. You said for your tent. I told you I got
that's
a ticket.
probable cause to pull you over, right?
Okay.
Just because you.
Whoa. That's way. Whoa. Are you serious?
Your fingers on the back of your head.
We've got code 3 cover coming.
Whoa.
Okay. Undo your seatbelt with your right hand.
Oh,
We're not
wow.
gonna play this game, sir.
Hey, it's all good.
Playing a game.
It's all good.
This lady says she's playing a game.
Wait, this way?
Sorry, towards the steering wheel. All right, do not move. Got it? Top out.
Not a criminal. This guy has no criminal record whatsoever.
Wow. Yeah, let's try to do this low key.
Yeah, low key, putting the gun to my head. You want to put the gun to my head, right? That's crazy. I'm not resisting.
Do not resist. She says, do not resist. The guy is not resisting, but she says it nonetheless.
Wow. Why am I being detained?
Charles 18, he's handcuffed.
Sir, I pull you over, okay? You're nervous? All right, then you told us there's a gun in your car. I asked you.
Why am I being detained? He said that why am I being detained? That's a good question. Well, he had a gun point to his head, and he's now being arrested and put in cuffs because he was stopped, and the officer says you were nervous. So because you're nervous,
There's a gun in your car. I asked you to just cooperate with me and get out of the car, okay? So I can check and make sure that
This is exactly why I want a supervisor.
Okay.
he was right in asking for a supervisor. Now, just because you ask for a supervisor doesn't mean you're getting one. The officer can just say, yeah, he's not available, and you're not getting it. That does not stop you from having the right to ask for one. And he did well in asking for one. He probably should have asked for one sooner, even though he may not end up getting it. And the other thing I want you to notice is that I don't think it's being shown here, but in the same clip, just before what you see now, he's being ordered to keep his hands in the wheel, right? Because Miss Karen here is bothered by this guy having a gun in the trunk of his vehicle. So she says, keep your hands where I can see them. And at the same time, he's being given a different command so as to unbuckle his seatbelt. What stops this woman from shooting me in the head when I move my hands?
Wait, this way?
This is insane. This woman should not be an officer. Anyone that has this reaction should not be an officer. I see that these women have a disproportionately hysterical reaction to even the minimum amount of stress, something that does not stress a normal person. These women are having an insane, disproportional power, trip reaction. Like, what is it that upset her so much that she just draws her gun and points it at the head of this guy? What is it?
Undo your seatbelt with your right.
Okay.
Just because you.
Whoa. What's your cause?
Calm down.
What's your cause of stopping me? Is what I want to know. You didn't even give me a cause. You said for your 10. I told you I got
That's
a ticket.
probable cause to pull you over, right?
Okay.
Just because you.
Whoa.
This is insane. This is not what you have in any kind of free society. This kind of abuse, I mean, and these are just two. There's a ton of them. It has gone to this point. It slowly went to a point where you're just a subject of the state at this point, right? This is insane. Anyway, let me go through some of the comments. Women don't understand that men are prideful and need to be respected. Otherwise, you're going to have... No, I honestly don't think it's... I think that women are more likely to have these kind of reactions. I think that they are. I think that women in general have, don't handle stressful situations as well as men. And I'm sure that if you do an honest, objective study, you will find this. Just like in other videos that I've analyzed here in the channel, where women officers with their partners, and the partner is being attacked, beaten, they just say, I remember literally, she said, I can't, and she just froze, and she couldn't do a damn thing. Men do that too, but I think it's disproportionately more women than men. Does this mean that women should not be police officers? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's something to look into. What I am also saying here is the way in which these things are happening in the United States. You cannot claim that this is the most free country in the planet by any stretch of the imagination. It's actually the opposite. I think that you have one of the more authoritarian governments, one of the more invasive and one of the more violent governments against your own population from any developed country. This is insane, and it was not always the case. This is something more recent. You could say, yeah, we saw police brutality before. Yeah, of course. And you see police brutality everywhere. Are places all the same? No, they're not. But you can tell this is happening a lot more these last few years than it was the case before. The officer should have probably cause of a crime in order to investigate. No, Steve Bishop. No, joined a little bit later. Yeah, I didn't pull the entire video. He stopped because he has tinted glasses, and I think the license plate is is missing on front, or whatever. Something regarding the vehicle, and he explains that he already got a ticket for that. So in all honesty, this should have been, we're stopping you because of the license plate and because of the glasses. Okay, yeah, I already got a ticket for that, and that should be it. He just got stopped over it. He already has a ticket, and this is not an individual that is like a thug, or he's a known criminal, or there's no suspicion of him committing any crime here whatsoever. Whatever is that was going on with the vehicle, he already got a ticket for that. And as he explains that should end the interaction. The problem here is that the female officer is nervous because he says that he has a gun in the trunk of the vehicle. And because of her being nervous and just not feeling safe in what she calls literally, quote unquote, no man's land, she's a police officer doing her job. What kind of no man's land are you talking about, lady? If you're not comfortable doing police work, don't be a police officer. But you know what's the cherry on top? Not only did she not get fired, she got promoted. She's now a detective, guys. This woman, this dumb, stupid, woman that cannot handle any kind of stress without going into a power trip and drawing her gun and almost shooting a guy in the face, she's now rewarded for that, and she's been made a detective. Now the guy took them to court and won it. He just got paid off. He just got paid. He took them to court. They settled for probably a lot of money, a lot of your money. So whenever something is so obviously wrong, like in this video, and the guy does take them to court, that's no problem. I have money from the peasants. I'll pay him off, and that's it. That's it. That's all they need to do. But you still have the same problem. Women officers or not, well, yeah, that's, another topic. What kind of freedom do you have in a country where this is common practice? Where this is not only common practice to the point that they just settle it and that's it, to the point that the woman is not even fired from the job. In any other country, in any other civilized nation, this woman would no longer be a police officer. Pulling this stunt, almost shooting a guy in the head over her own fears, would immediately be enough for getting her fired and terminated. She could not be an officer. In the United States, as it is right now, that's the way it is. Anyway, I think it's insane. The counter-racial profile, there can be more minorities in the police force. Again, I don't think it's even a matter of women or men or racial. As we saw in the previous video, dumbasses, men, you have those as well. You have this dumbass here too, right? It's not just the women. It is a cultural problem at this point where these guys joining the force, they think that they can get away with completely abusing your rights, right? What's the point of having rights? What's the point of having, laws and having a constitution? What's the point of having the Second Amendment if a woman can just put a gun to your face simply because she feels, I'm not feeling safe. I'm not feeling safe because I'm sensing some patriarchal vibes from you. So I'll put my gun to your face and maybe even shoot you in the head, right? Anyway, MSB 9021, Happy New Year, Fernando, to you and your family. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. Thanks to you too, and thanks for the super chat. Always nice to see the support from you guys. The count can things are supposed to work versus are completely different. Fernando's point. Yeah, we can argue all day long as how things are supposed to be, but this is what it is. This is the reality. This is like arguing with a mentally disturbed person. I feel like a woman. Yeah, but you're a man. Oh, but I identify as a woman. Yeah, but you're not one. Oh, but you can have whatever fantasies in your heads you want. It does not change the facts. It does not change the reality that you're a man. And it's not that you're a biological man. No, you're simply a man. This, the way in which they corrupt language, like, oh, you're a biologically male. No, you're just male. And women, biologically, is the only way in which you could possibly be either one of those, right? Trying to make, but it's just in terms of biology. I'm no biologist so as to determine if you're a man or a woman. Well, we all know how that goes. yeah, this guy is lucky he didn't get shot. Absolutely, tyranny at its finest. Yes, it is terrible. And when I see these things, I wonder, how much freedom do you even have if this is not only happening, but none of these people got fired over what they did. That is the worst part. Because if you told me that one of these guys got fired for abusing their authority, their power, and the way they did, pointing a gun at a guy's head for nothing whatsoever, that should be immediate termination. I mean, that you should answer for that. No, promote it. We will make you detective. It is insane. Eric Johnson, that police incident with a blind guy is why I'm pulling back from suburban life, bought island property where we can get our assets and activities out of sight. Yeah, it is terrible that a blind man is, and the woman having these Karen moments of hers, like, do you want to get arrested if you don't do what I say? No, lady, that's not how it works. The man is walking down the street. You have no authority to arrest him just because you feel like he's not being respectful of your power. He has no obligation to address you in any manner that he doesn't feel like. You have no power over him. If he has committed no crime, if you have no suspicion, he's carrying a pack of stuff that smells like drugs, and he's failing to obey a command because I have a strong suspicion that he's carrying narcotics. Okay, he has a suitcase that is leaking blood, and I'm asking him to stop, and he doesn't stop. Okay, that is fair. That is fine police work, right? That is a fine officer doing his job, and we know there's plenty of those too. But unfortunately, there's way too many of these too. So it's not. It's not the Antifa BLM bullshit. And at this point, with some of these guys, I want to make it all about, cops can do no wrong. No, they're doing a lot of wrong. And if this is not addressed, this is only getting worse, And the idea that the BLMs and Antifas stand against this, no, they stand along with this. They love this kind of thing as long as it's targeted against what they consider their own enemies, anyone that is not aligned with them. They are fascists. They are the ones that would love to have a fascist regime, forced upon people that are not like them. Belongs to the instance. I don't think Biden, DeSantis directed these events. The county admins has issues, obviously. Yeah, but yes, and I agree with that. But you see this kind of like nationwide. It is becoming more of a cultural thing where it is, we have to protect ourselves because at any minute you could bring a gun and point it at and get shot. Well, yeah, that is unfortunately one of the possible risks of being a police officer. Now, simply because you're doing a difficult, dangerous job, which it is, that does not give you the right to abuse citizens like that. He could have a gun. Yeah, he could have a gun and just turn it on you. Yeah, of course. He could have a nuclear device in the trunk. Yes, in the realm of possibilities, lots of things could happen. That does not give you the right to abuse people like this and strip them from their basic constitutional rights that you enjoy in pretty much anywhere in the civilized world. And it's a lot more respected than it is being respected right now in the United States. That is the point of this video. And I guess that with that, reaching an hour, and I'll have to go to my other channel. So guys, that's going to be all for now. Let me go quickly through some of the last ones. Were any of these officers disciplined for these poor field actions? MSB 9021, no. Not a single one. In the case of these two clowns, they only got a paid leave for like a week, and then they were back in their jobs. And the woman that put the gun to the other guy's head, she was made a detective, rewarded for what she did, rewarded for costing the state probably a lot of money in paying off the guy that had the gun pulled on him. Look how bad things are. They're using your money to pay for their own bullshit. Free money. Why would they even bother? They'll keep doing it. They have no penalty for it. I found you can really have an off-duty cop for a friend or an acquaintance. They, or at least some, can leave the attitude. Yeah, some of them can, some of them can't. Some of them are great officers everywhere. In every country I've lived, I've met wonderful people in both military and law enforcement. And I've met assholes as well. But it is becoming an issue where they're not respecting the basic rights of people. And it's becoming increasingly an issue. Just like it is an issue when they are standing, waiting for little kids to get shot, just so as to not put their own ass in the line because they don't want to get shot. So yeah, I'll let the kids die. I'm a police officer. I took an oath. I took a job, and I'll let little kids die. And I'll abuse the blind man because he's not respecting my feminine power or whatever bullshit. Anyway, media keeps promoting women to the hyper masculine. Yeah, conscious movie review. That's a great point. Media keeps promoting women to be hyper masculine. That is attractive to victim-minded women. Yeah. And this woman thinks, yeah, this man is not respecting me. What, you want me to put you on cuffs? You want me to shoot you? You better respect me, right? That is not how you go about being a police officer, no matter man or woman. Anyway, guys, it's going to be all for now. See you next time. Take care.